All right, we're back here in the morning. It's another day. So, unfortunately, we can't just go on with customer work because we need the hoist. So, what I'm gonna have to do is take these two front wheels off the VR.
We're committed now.
Go and put them on the VS. So I can drag the VS into here. So I can get the rack out of the VS. Put that rack in the VR. So that the VR can go outside. Oh, we really need a second hoist. It is very high up on the, or very early I should say, on the goals list of things to happen very soon. Is to get the second hoist set up. Make things like this so much easier. It would also mean that we could have something like the VS on a hoist to tick along with and work at in our spare time, and still have another hoist to get all our customer stuff done, rather than do what we have had to be doing, which is push customer cars out of the way so that we can use the hoist. Especially things like forward drives that aren't running yet. We've got to use the machinery to drag stuff around. This thing, the brakes locked on last night. We had to push it in with the posi track. It's so freaking annoying. It's going to be so much better when we've got a second hoist. But anyway, nonetheless, it is what it is, and we've got to deal with it for now. So, get the VS in here and get that rack out. Then we can put a new rack in the VS. And then, after that, we're ready for our motor and box to go in, which is good because we are getting ever so closer to this deadline. Very fast. Oh, the sun is so hot. Why is the sun so hot? Ow! Everything's so hot. Businesses, everything have been this hot. Oh. Ugh, this sucks ass. I hate pushing cars around. Whack, whack, whack. All right, we've got our good rack in the VS now. We've got the poopy rack back in the VR. So that can be all poopy. So we decided, normally we try and do like our customer work through the day and then go on with our personal stuff at night. But seeing as we've already got both the cars in the shed at the moment, gonna go ahead and start pulling the stuff I need out of the interior for the VS. So like the driver's window glass and stuff like that. Might as well do it while they're both in the shed. That way we can sort of be done with the VR and it can just go outside and just stay out there until the VS is complete. And once it's complete, it can go back to the guy who owns it. Look at that, it's starting to look like a car. Headlights and stuff. So this is the intercooler I'll be running. It is actually the intercooler that I had set aside for the turboed LS Crusader, which never eventuated. So it's going to good use on this thing. Again, it's another thing that I had lying around that I didn't have to buy, which is awesome. So I've just pulled these fuel lines off the firewall. They were actually just bolted up on there. So they run up these sides of the heater lines. So we were looking at those before and we were like, damn, like they're quick connects. They look to be about the same size as the Barra ones. It would just be ridiculous if the Barra fuel lines just clipped straight on. But they were just a little bit, they were going to be a little bit too short. So our idea was to pull these off the firewall. We're going to reshape this and try and run them up this side of the heater lines here. And up, and then they should finish up around sort of here, which would make them sort of long enough to actually reach the Barra line. So it may still work like that. So I've got them out, ready to go for that. Sort of just cleared off a fair bit out of the engine bay that we're not going to be using. I did some measuring up about where the engine's going to sit, and I really don't think we're going to be able to get a stock radiator in and thermos. So I'm not going to order a radiator at this point. I'm going to wait until we actually get the motor in and have a look at what sort of room we're working with. I really should have a look at like Project Nomang and stuff and have a watch of those videos to see what those blokes have done as far as radiators go, what their solutions were. I might have to do that tonight, jump on and have a look, because I need a solution for that pretty quick because I'm not going to be able to drive it without a radiator and fans. But anyway, you get that. But heaps of room for intercooler to fit in, that's awesome. Should be plenty of room for a transcooler, all that stuff should be smicko, so everything's looking pretty good. Rex has managed to get the door glass out of the VR, which is awesome, and he's just been looking at sort of flogging what parts we need to complete this door, because it's another one of those things where we bought a car like this and we don't particularly know how a VS door goes together. So apart from that, I was looking through the car, everything sort of looks to be here to complete this door. The door card all seems to be there, not in the best condition. Fortunately, the glove box, like the actual lid, is the hinges are broken, but the interior in the VR is a slightly different color, so unfortunately, we can't really use any of the interior bits out of the VR because they're just a slightly different color. But however, when we went and picked out the VR to get all the parts off, we picked the VR because it had the best sort of bonnet and front bar out of all of them. But there were another 2 VSVRs there. So when we go back, we'll see if any of those other cars are the same color interior and see if we can flog the last little bits of interior we need out of them to complete this one. But we've been doing some sums, and not only are we really cutting it short for time to get to All Aussie Day, but I really think we're gonna run out of budget for this car. We'll just see how we go. We'll keep working at it. Obviously, in either case, it's got to get done ASAP anyway, so we'll keep working towards this goal of All Aussie Day. But it's starting to really close in and starting to get real tight as far as time and money goes. All right, we've got a mirror, we've got a window rubber, we've got a window. Check it out. Woo!
Actually goes up here surprisingly well.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I mean, not that surprising. I did put it in there.
All right, so we've got a few more panels on the VS, which is awesome. We've got the VR back outside, and it's time now to continue on some customer work. Rex is going to go on with the cruiser, and I've got to tune this thing now. But we'll get stuck back into the VS tonight after hours again. All right, guys, so we begin another late night escapade. And now that we have the rack and everything in the VS, it is finally time to get this big heifer into that other thing so that they can do the things that they were never meant to do. But first, we've got to get this other big heifer out of here. So Rex is doing just a little bit on that, so we can push it outside.
Too, and this thing's bum is so big.
Big ass. Have an ass. But anyway, looking forward to finally getting this motor in, hopefully the box tonight. That way we can at least see what we're working with as far as the rest of our room for our wastegate. Still got to clean up the turbo manifold because I never did get that machined like I said I was going to. So got to clean that up and get that sorted. Anyway, there's so much work to do in so little time to get this thing ready for All Aussie Day. And like, it's not even that it has to be finished being built by All Aussie Day. It has to be finished being built. I need to have tyres on it. I need to get it mod plated and regoed so that I can drive it All Aussie Day. You nice and stable, mate?
No, I'm not convinced. I'm gonna...
So still have to do our bendies of the fuel lines. But how good's that? Those are the 2 heater lines, right? Look at that. Couldn't get more perfect.
It's going to be hilarious, these Ford lines just docking with the Commodore friggin' outlets.
Hopefully the tap's internal because...
Yeah, actually, I don't know how the Commodore one works. For all heater, all the time now.
Yeah, maybe we should actually have a look on the VR. See if there's a tap meant to be somewhere.
Oh, but I hate the VR.
Me too. Wait.
I don't know.
What are we
I don't know what that was. Yeah, external tap.
Oh, god damn it.
Okay, that'll be...
Why doesn't my Ford motor just go into my Holden and work?
Yeah, it's pretty rude.
Very rude.
Very rude chopper. Put a tap in it, send it.
Just put a tap in there somewhere.
Yep.
Man, well, we'll worry about that later.
I put it in that hose there.
Why would you do that, Rex?
That's the feed to the heater. That's the return that runs back to the thermostat housing before it runs back to the radiator.
Oh, I see.
So that keeps the hot water out of the core.
All right.
So just put a little tappy boy in there. Bit it, and should be right.
Should be. Okay, all right. It's settled. Anyway, I really hope we get this motoring box in the car tonight because I think it's the motivation I need to not continue to hate this thing.
Oh, but you will.
All right, let's go.
Like I hate my blue ute.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
I hate my blue ute.
Yeah, but you know you never make any money off it.
No, I don't. It does cost me a lot of money. Therefore, I must hate it more.
Yeah, that's why it's sat there and hasn't done anything for 5 years.
Hey, that's an over-exaggeration.
No, it's not. Old guys, huh?
Oh, it'll be 5 years at the end of this year.
Yeah, so it's the 5th year.
Yeah, that's not 5 years. That's 4 and a bit years. Not quite 5 yet.
So Rex is having some fun doing some straightening and not some kinking. And they're looking like they might be frapping long enough to me. Isn't this exciting? It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it really gets my dick hard.
Anyway, while Rex does that, I'm gonna get the flex plate on this thing. Got me plate first, don't forget the plate first. And got the trusty torque wrench. And we'll put some of these in that with the thing. These flex plates, they don't have a dowel. They're one of those ones where the holes are spaced a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
So that...
Typical Ford thing.
Yeah, Ford thing to do. Bunch of assholes. Alright, I'm definitely going to pull that other dowel out of the gearbox and put it in the block, because I feel like it's going to save us heaps of pain. Oh, look at that! Look where that fuel lines are. Look where these fuel lines are.
They're like over here.
That's going to be great.
We're going to have hose to spare.
I'm going to put this down in here so that this plate doesn't flap around. So I think we're ready. We're ready to put it in the hole. We're finally at that point. We're ready to put the thing in the hole. Alright, well that was silly of us. We weren't ready at all because we hadn't taken the old sway bar out yet. Boob's teeth. Anyway, all good. We've got a barra in the hole. We've hooked one. We've got a barra. Oh, nice. Looking good. Tell you what though, it sits quite high, and I had not even considered to look into whether people who normally do this conversion space the cross member at all or not. Had not even thought to even look at it. So maybe there's just, I suppose the bonnet is a bit like, the bonnet does sort of curve a fair bit. Maybe it'll fit, I don't know. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at it. Like it grew there. Tell you what, that oil filter's not going to be much fun. But anyway, might have to get like a short body one.
You can actually.
Short body ones, yeah.
Yeah, there's a different, because the later Barras had like a heat exchanger on the oil filter, and you had a short body. Yeah. Short one. I think we actually have one.
Look how much room there isn't for a dump pipe though. That's the only bummer thing about it. Still hoping that the bonnet just goes on and clears it all, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, our fuel line's got to be long enough, so that's awesome. So they're just gonna be there. That's 3 inches.
Yeah. So even then, we'll probably have to give that a bit of crush, like oval it a bit to make sure we have clearance.
And I've still got to fit a wastegate somewhere in here. Juicy. All right, we'll get it up in the air and have a look at what we're looking at as far as the trans tunnel goes, and see if we can get a gearbox in it. All right, so we decided before the box goes in, we should probably get the stock shifter out of the center console. So while Rex is doing hard work, I decided to dummy up the hot side. So Rex is in there doing all the hard work, and I'm out here just make money. Anyway, as you can see, that's what we're working with. What a fit. Not too bad. So this is my new wastegate, which is a Pulsar Turbos wastegate, because we deal Pulsar and they're pretty cheap and they work.
I want to see the fun stuff.
Ah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
So this is a 44mm gate, which I decided to go sort of as big as I reckon I could fit, just because we have like a 4 litre with a 3582 with a 0.8, and I already know that the T3 106 house 3582s have a little bit of issue controlling boost, so thought we'd probably want a fairly decent sized gate, considering we're going a smaller housing size than the stock ones are. But I'm pretty sure I should be able to make this fit. It's tight. It's gonna be tight, but should be able to get it down there off the housing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so the dump can go down between the motor and the steering shaft, and the plumb back, which I probably will plumb back because I do want to sell this car, is probably going to go down on the other side of the steering shaft there. and then they can sort of meet at the junction underneath, and Bob's your auntie. The other thing is, I know I've read that these things, you can only fit a 3-inch dump, which we've tested. You just saw that. So I figured, you know, I'm building this car the way I want to build it with the parts that I've got to build it cheap and make it what I want to make it out of what I've got. But I want anyone who wants to buy this car to be able to buy it, and pretty much if they wanted to chuck a gassy in it with valve springs and stuff and make some decent power, you know, at least all the hard work's done, the conversion's been done this wide, everything's, you know, all the hard stuff's done. If someone wanted to spend the money, decent hot slide, you know, valve spring to gassy or something like that, then they just could go and do that. So the fact is, if we can fit a 3-inch off the turbo down there, and then, you know, our 44mm, which is nearly 2-inch, down the other side of the steering shaft, someone could then, if they wanted to, tee that into like a 3.5-inch exhaust and actually make some decent power out of a Barra in one of these things. But for me, you know, it's already a small turbo. You guys know the deal. I've been through it before. So a 3-inch exhaust is going to be fine for what I want to do with this car at this stage. That's my plan, is to just merge them and just 3-inch through the whole car. But I just want to make sure I sort of somewhat future-proof it, even though it's probably not going to be me that is doing these future upgrades. I just want to make it somewhat future-proof for anyone who does end up with it. But I must say, it looks like the engine was meant to be in there. You look underneath from the K-frame. I'll show you when we get it up in the air. It literally looks like it fits better than the V6 did. It looks awesome, so looking really good. Props to Muscle Garage, not sponsored or anything, unfortunately. I did have to pay full price for this whole kit, but thus far it's just gone together. So we'll see how the gearbox goes in, but freaking awesome. It's awesome when everything just works. So anyway, this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but should be able to make it work. The other problem which I have seen or found is that, yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to run a stock radiator because we cannot fit thermofans in behind it. Not unless I got some really like small profile SPAL fans or something like that, then that'd work. But I don't have that sort of money. I don't have SPAL fan money, so we have to come up with another solution there. But again, basics first. We'll get the gearbox and stuff in, and then we'll have a look at solutions for everything else. But I mean, apart from putting a tap in these heater lines, they literally just go straight onto these heater lines at the firewall like they were made to. The fuel lines are going to work. As you can see, there's actually quite a bit of room back here. Like I can easily get my hand down in there. That's like the freaking thing just fits awesome. It's great. I can't believe it. So amazing. What a beauty. Also, I know I talked about Muscle Garage, and sorry guys, I know I'm talking a lot at the moment, but I'm so stoked on this. How awesome is this? Spidey's loom. How's this? Got our fuse box, which I'll just mount up here in the corner. Got our loom plugs, which I'll mount the ECU plugs, which I'll mount the ECU up here in the corner as well. And then everything else just pokes straight through that hole in the firewall. We've got our power 2, which will be from the boot. And then we've got our pedal and our shifter and our OBD, which will all just poke through that hole and go to where they need to be. And some vehicle speed input, which I'm still yet to get a kit. But I've got my eyes on exactly what I'm going to do. But just a few wires here, like it just fits so well. It's gonna be so easy to hook up and get running. There's only basic little things we have to overcome, like radiator setup and wastegate and stuff like that. I think we'll just run, build an intercooler setup, easy as. Straight around there like a stock one, because you got more clearance from the bonnet up here. Straight down here through this hole. Check it out, even the aircon lines, they just about freaking fit. Like, obviously you need the pressure sensor and stuff for the Barra AC to work, and I need a CAN Barra module to get it to actually work through the ECU and stuff, but just, like that would almost just freaking bolt up. They're that close. It's ridiculous how well this fits. Big old hole, ready for a BTR shifter to go in there. A little bit of tap up, tap down action. Be nice. A little bit of, what do they call it? Tiptronic. Semi-sequential. iDriver manual. The gearbox did poos on me. Gearbox poos and wheeze. Alright, new gearbox cross member setup ready to go. And I'll retrieve my new converter, which is all brand new and red and shiny, which means it goes really fast. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. That is looking nice. All right, let's get a freaking gearbox in the thing. Oh yeah, oh yes. All right, so far I have found the biggest problem with this swap, which is probably very well documented, and I probably would have known if I bothered to research this at all before I started. But the starter hump on the gearbox, where the starter motor actually bolts into, massively interferes with the trans tunnel / firewall and needs to be heavily massaged. Apart from that, it actually all looks pretty close. Probably just a little bit of massaging for the rib that runs just directly along the top of the box, like right at the top of the trans tunnel there. But that there is like quite a big problem as far as, you know, it needs quite a bit of room.
I don't think you do need to massage that top rib.
You reckon it'd be right once it comes up?
Well, this hasn't got too much further to go at the front. Like
Yeah.
maybe 10.
Yeah, you gotta remember that it
mil.
might pivot the whole thing up a bit.
Well, you look at, that's not going to come that far.
Yeah.
It's not that far off from
Yeah,
height.
well, maybe just the starter.
I think just the starter myself.
But either way, as you can see from up there where this engine is, it's going to be very difficult to massage that without removing this here engine. Hence, I probably would have been much better off researching this, because I probably would have been known to this issue before we got this far. But regardless,
You'd still have to put it in and know exactly
yeah,
how much.
you would. Yeah, it's hard to know. Regardless, either way, at this stage, it pretty much looks like the motor's going to have to come back out, which is not a big deal because it wasn't actually that hard to get back in. So it's not a big deal at all. However, it's already like 9:45, nearly 10 o'clock. And obviously massaging that's going to be making a lot of noise, and we have neighbors and stuff. So that's going to we'll probably leave this until the morning. So that's probably where we'll leave it for tonight. And this is probably enough for an episode, really. It's been a couple of nights. So yeah, well, thanks for watching, as always. Hope you're enjoying the swap. It's nice to see it in the hole. Like I said, it actually has given me a bit of motivation back, because I tell you what, working every single night, like late, it's been getting to me. It's been really getting to me, and I was starting to hate this, and this, you know, got me a little bit motivated now. So it's the motivation I was lacking to get this thing finished, and I'm excited to have it back. So hope you've enjoyed. We'll tune back in next episode where we're giving this firewall / trans tunnel a little bit of an attitude adjustment with a big old hammer. And yeah, hope you're enjoying. Head to the shop, buy yourself some merch. Please do that. I desperately need your money. So thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, smash like. Thank you all for watching. Peace out. See you, bye. I'm gonna go to sleep. Goodbye.